Well, evening. What's going on, my fellow zombies? Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? Another dark log. More things to say since my brain was still waking me up. It is September 7th, Sunday, 2025. It's about 12:24 in the morning. It's 7:04. I'm not alive or awake yet. And then again, the rest of the world wishes it was totally asleep so we could dream away the nightmares that are happening with us in the politics. As one particular independent out there was trying to say about Trump declaring war, well, it was I hate to say it to my good friend out there on the East Coast, but unfortunately he's way too late. While Trump has been trying to be busy to become an absolute tyrant, and a lot of independents and me, like myself, have been trying to declare that ever since he got in office the second time around. But the first time around, it already showed us what kind of a lunatic he is. But now, his mental instability is threatening world security. I don't know what's going to happen next with this schmuck, and how the rest of us are going to be able to deal with him anyway. He already had declared war on the world. When he started stating he wanted to conquer Greenland, when he wanted to conquer the Panama Canal, and when he wanted to annex Canada, did that not give us an indication long ago that Trump was becoming more and more unstable and dangerous? And he's already demonstrated it in this last year, in this passing year that we have right now. And I feel like we are stifled, we are stymied over the decisions to be made. And some of those decisions are not the easiest ones to make. And what are our next options? We hope and pray that there are going to be elections for the midterms. We hope and pray that we get survival at this point over here and not just chaos and confusion again. And we hope and pray that the amendments do not come and guarantee permanent passage of an autocracy that's going to be scaring the crap out of us. He already threatens the gas bag in office that we voted in November 24 and never bothered to accept responsibility, accountability, or transparency for our dumbass decisions, has already declared war on Chicago. Yeah, Chicago doesn't want him. Illinois doesn't want him. Illinois doesn't want Trump's benevolent help in the form of armed soldiers and federal agents swarming in to kidnap United States citizens and anybody else. The uglier decisions I've already thought of a long time ago when I've indicated the two dates in our bloody history that seems to be erased out of history because old Gasbag doesn't want to see it. Are they the only two options, the only 2 years that would give us the ugliest result to follow? I'm not looking, and I'm not looking forward to it, and I'm not saying it with glee or anything else. But are they the only options we truly have left in a democratic country that's losing that term, democratic. We weren't democratic in the 13 colonies. We had splitvilles happening up and down the coast. Some felt like they had no choice, and others didn't bother taking the choice. But all in all, they had to be united. And true, there were splits on this one. There were split sides on this one. Some wanted peace across the continent. Some actually wanted no violence to happen at all. They hoped that their, which they thought their benevolent, turned out to be malevolent. They hoped and prayed it wouldn't come, but they had to do what they did. And it became a bloody mark in the beginning of our country. We already had other bloody marks happening prior to that, before our country began. But this was the start of our country's history. And that's being wiped out in Smithsonian because it's too woke and too deism, and it's even when we turned a century later and had hard choices concerning about the identity of our country. Was it going to be prosperous? Was it going to be industrious? Or did we want conservative all the time, but including some of the ways that enslaved, more ways than one? We wanted to grow, but we wanted to stay the same, and they were split on this one. It split apart everybody, and we fought bitterly till we couldn't fight no more. And yes, we had to grow as a country. We couldn't split ourselves apart into identities. We couldn't be bipolar. We had to be unified. And we fought like hell to stay unified, despite the fact that a lot of us didn't want that, but others did. We had to grow as a nation, and that meant pain and blood and sacrifice. We had foreign wars across borders. We had wars in our borders. As we grew and expanded those borders, we fought and made mistakes along the way of truly originated lands now incorporated into the states. And we were poor in spirit and in generosity in giving tribal lands back in small pieces, to say the least. Our country was not perfect when it was growing and forming. And it will never be perfect. But it will be a country worth fighting for every idea and ideology that we could try bringing up that makes us united, democratic, consolidated republic, a representative nation. And the problem is we have forces within ourselves tearing that to pieces for their own damn greed. The same forces we voted back into office back in November 2024. And now we have those forces threatening the peace of others surrounding us. Threatening the world. For our greed, our hubris, our indifference, our arrogance, our pride, our ignorance, our excessive want. And we have it in the form of a current administration that's willing to bring the world to its knees because it wants that badly. Its ego never ceases. And I hate apologizing for our actions, but I have to keep doing it because nobody else will. I have to accept the burden that my ancestors have fought and died for. I have to get rid of my hubris and tell the world, as a representative of my country, I am sorry for what we have unleashed in November of 2024. As my country declares war on the world, I pray the world will remember us. I'm not quite sure of kindness or generosity, but of a nation gone insane. Going after others outside of our country borders is just as bad enough as we're going after our own. We have not declared a ceasefire on our own internal civil war. We're still divided, bipolar, manic depressive, insane, as we struggle for identity and potential breakage, hopefully, from our current administration that we had voted in. We were lied to. We drank the Kool-Aid. And now we threaten all. Our legacy as a country for nearly 250 years, nearly. We are to be shamed, humiliated, humbled. But remember, we were broken states when we started out. We were just broken colonies, struggling for survival, depending upon kindness of strangers that lived in the land. And unfortunately, we took advantage of their kindness and turned it against them, as we turned against them. Manifest destiny was the driving force of our colonies, of our nation, of our country. And now that same insanity afflicts everybody. And for that, I, John Cameron Weaver, citizen of the United States, resident of the state of California, and the town of Roseman, California, apologize to the world continuously. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to say or suggest, except the two bloodiest dates in our history. The last bastions. The hope that God we don't take, but we may not have a choice. It was bad enough we had to go into the world and to war with other nations for necessity, for ideology, for peace. not to war with ourselves again to continue the civil war. Are we to do civil, or are we to do revolution? The question is to the country and to the world.